it's a good measuring stick, man. It's a good test early on for sure. So, all right. Well, we got another test coming up this week, and I tell you, man, they may be without a key component of that offense that's put up a lot of points this year so far. Obviously, the Packers are going to be traveling down to Dallas to play the Cowboys on Sunday night. CeeDee Lamb suffered a high ankle sprain and expected to miss multiple weeks here. Okay, so out of Frisco, Texas, the Dallas Cowboys will be without their star wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, for at least the next few weeks after he sustained a high ankle sprain, as you can see here in the picture, during this team's Week 3 loss to the Chicago Bears. The injury occurred early in the game and is a major blow to the Cowboys offense, already struggling to find its footing. All right, injury details. Lamb was injured with 8:34 remaining in the first quarter on a running play out of the backfield as he was tackled. Bears linebacker Noah Sewell fell on his leg, causing Lamb's ankle to twist. Lamb initially walked off the field and tried to return in the second quarter, but he was visibly hobbling after running a single route and was ruled out for the rest of the game. So the prognosis and timeline here, following further evaluation, the diagnosis is a high ankle sprain, which comes with a recovery timeline of 3 to 4 weeks. Injury reserve considered. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones indicated that placing Lamb on injured reserve is a possibility. This would sideline him for a minimum of 4 games, but the team's decision will depend on how his recovery progresses over the next 10 to 14 days. Initial optimism seemed to fade there after everything kind of came down the pike. Despite Lamb and Jones expressing some initial hope for a quicker return, team doctors are taking a more cautious approach. Lamb himself acknowledged that the medical staff pulled him from the game to quote, protect me away from myself, as he was unable to move dramatically. All right. So impact on the Cowboys offense. With Lamb out, quarterback Dak Prescott will lose his top receiving threat. The timing is poor for the 1-2 Cowboys, who are preparing for Sunday Night Football clash with the Green Bay Packers. Next man up at receiver, free agent acquisition, George Pickens. They actually traded for him, right? If I remember correctly. So that's there. Yeah. Will likely become the Cowboys' primary wideout. Pickens has performed well in limited action and will see a significant increase in targets. Jalen Tolbert and Kevontae Turpin will also have opportunities for expanded roles. Ferguson's role to grow. Tight end Jake Ferguson, who already leads the team in receptions, is expected to be a major beneficiary of Lamb's absence. He saw a massive 14 targets against the Bears, catching 13 of them. And then they got offensive line woes as well. The injury exacerbates there's something I want to say. Issues for the offense, which is also dealing with the loss of rookie offensive lineman Tyler Booker, who suffered a similar high ankle sprain and is expected to miss multiple weeks. The Cowboys offense faces a significant challenge to maintain its production without a star playmaker, especially as the team looks to rebound from a disappointing start to the season. So Tyler Booker being out there in the middle as well. Emilio, do you have the draft board handy? If you would, where do we have Tyler Booker at? I mean, I believe we had him listed. It could have been a tackle. It could have been interior offensive line. I can't remember. But
I thought it was interior.
He was interior, actually. Our best interior at 30.6. So he was above Gray Zabel, Donovan Jackson, Tate Ratledge.
Who's getting a call?
Me, I'm sorry.
Tell him to sell, Emilio.
But yeah, no, I'm sorry. We had Tyler Booker as our best interior lineman, was a captain with a 30.6. And really just leading the way at that point. So
it's a pretty significant loss, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and that's also on top of, like Coach said earlier in the chat, Beebe was also out. So that line is going to be a little bit, kind of like how we went into this game, chopped up, probably moving guys around. But Godsmack AR69 has a super chat, and if you guys can't believe it, he does not mention unspecial teams. So he says, I guess when the time comes, the Packers will just have to sweep the blue kitty cats. Thanks for nothing, sure. Baltimore. You had one friggin' job.
You blew it.
You blew it.
That was a fun game to watch, though, boys. I really enjoyed that game. And I personally thought Lamar Jackson looked good. There was a couple times I'm like, boy, that's a big boy throw. But Detroit just kept pouring it on, man. It was fun to watch. So, Coach Lynn, Booker was high on the board. Yeah, so best interior offensive lineman on the PTA big board. I think it's a significant loss. So, this game I think is going to come down to you don't want to get in a shootout with the Cowboys. You want to come out. You want to win the turnover battle, which last week we're showing a tie 1-1 in the turnover differential, but really that interception before halftime might as well have been a punt for the Browns, right? It was kind of one of those, hey, look, let's just take a shot here type thing. So really, when you take that out of the equation, they won the turnover differential 1-0, and obviously the middle eight there. If I can't remember what the middle eight was. Do you guys remember who won the middle eight? I think I mentioned it on the post game. I want to say, no, it was 0-0. So 0-0 middle eight, they won the turnover differential. Lo and behold, they beat you by a field goal. So
I like Chef Brian K here in the chat says, I'm not a troll, not here to troll. He says, but I'm a Browns fan with a huge amount of respect for the pack. We got fortunate late, and our defense is pretty good this year. You'll be in the playoffs, and we won't, so keep it up.
Great.
Thank you, Brian.
Listen, elite ball knower right there, Chef Brian.
Listen, Brian, don't rule yourself out, man. Crazy things can happen.
It's true.
If you got a solid defense like that, if you got a top 3, top 5 defense, you never know, man. You might be looking up and squeak in with a wild card, spot. I remember the year the Packers won the Super Bowl, right? We had the best defense in the league, and I don't care what anybody says. There was nobody at the beginning of that season. There was nobody halfway through that season going, oh, yeah, Packers, this is their year. It was like just get hot at the right moment. You never know, man. So, yeah, as Shep Ryan says, maybe my Browns can beat the Kitty Cats for you. Let's go. When do they play? Any idea when they play?
We got Detroit's schedule, right? Yeah, here.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's this week. There you go. Hey, we'll be Browns fans this week, Brian. For sure, man. Yeah,
let's go.
All right. Anything you guys want to add to the CeeDee Lamb point there before we get into kind of another first look here at the Cowboys Packers?
Be ready for Ferguson. That dude is a baller. I mean, we can run tape from a couple of years ago, and he was, a pretty big thorn in our ass on several reps. So he's already getting a bulk of the targets with Lamb in the lineup. So now without him, I mean, I don't want to say they're going to force feed him or anything, but clearly the passing game is going to kind of run through him, I think, especially early going, short down and distance kind of looks. So we got to account for that. Linebackers and our corners got to be ready for Ferguson.
Yeah, I agree, Tim. The other thing that I was thinking is obviously losing CeeDee Lamb is going to absolutely devastate that offense, but don't sleep on some of those guys like Kevontae Turbin. Not sure if you've watched. He is a fast dude. He is a good football player, and he can move. Amelia, what you know about him? Is he on your Madden team, brother?
No, he's not, but they talk about him all the time on the pod, man. They love that guy. He's like their jitterbug, a guy that can give you a spark, some sort of gadget. You can use him kind of all over.
He's a returner too, isn't he?
Yeah, yep. So, I mean, they're relying on him a lot. Maybe it's a spot for Mr. Hardman to go check out if they need a wide receiver quick. Maybe he could swing over there. You think of things like that, but Dak is probably going to rely on that. And if they get, their running game isn't great, but if they get it going, they might not even need to lean on the receivers, right? So you're worried about see what that O-line's going to look like, see what the running game looks like, and then keep an eye on Pickens and like Tim said, that tight end. Tim, I got a couple of thorn in my end tight ends I play against in college football. So let me tell you what.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you
do more than block nowadays, don't they?
That's the truth. That's the problem.
They can block. Did you see Pickens' meltdown on the sidelines though when he chucked the helmet and just absolutely
which time, Jake? Which year?
I was just gonna say this may be. I don't know, man. Pickens just seems like he is a kind of a loose cannon. I hate calling anybody a AB 2.0, but he kind of fits the bill where it just seems like he is a loose
Jacob,
cannon.
what if he takes over, though? What if he is the main dude now?
Well, he'll be happy for 3 weeks, and then he'll go right back to it.
Hey?
I'll tell you another weird little backstory there. After Jerry Jones pissed off David Mulligetta, which was Micah Parsons' agent, guess who George Pickens' agent is? It's David Mulligetta. So,
great.
And he's in a contract year, too, after Jerry Jones already traded for him. So, what a dumpster fire.
Jake Cole says NFL young boy.
Exactly right.
Oh, I love it.
All right, let's move along here. Let's get a first look at this Packers-Cowboys game before we dive into Chalk Talk, gents. So, obviously, this is going to be in front of the entire world on Sunday Night Football. Coverage will start at 6 p.m. Central So that's going to be your pregame and all that good stuff. Obviously, we'll be watching football all day. You know what? Since we talked about,
we'll probably be live around 6
I
Central.
was just
for
going
our
to say,
pregame,
Clay,
won't
what are
we?
you doing pitching the pregame show or for NBC? You need to be pitching the PTA pregame show.
I'm all about having a successful YouTube channel, but these are my friends in the chat, and I would much rather I would rather watch the Sunday Night Football covers than this particular program.
They're going to have a nice story for Micah put together, I'm sure.
Oh, you know it. It'll be a lot of fun for sure. But I was just wanting to glance here real quick. So we got Detroit and Cleveland at 1:00, right? The Browns or the Bears don't
the
play
Vikings are international.
Oh, that's right.
So they're early in the morning, right?
Yeah, Rodgers against the Vikes. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's at like 8:00 in the morning or something Central.
Yeah, 8:30 Central Time. Yeah.
Wow.
I was thinking about maybe doing a watch party for one of those games, but that makes for a long day and a long night.
It's a long day, dude.
We'll see what happens. But anyway, Packers at the Cowboys. Like I said, we'll be going live for our pregame show at around that time right there, 6 p.m. Central. So here we go. The Packers are 2-1 at the 1-2 Cowboys. Obviously going to be played down there at AT&T Stadium, a.k.a. Jerry World.
A.k.a. Lambeau South.
Yeah, exactly. You could get the TV coverage on NBC and Peacock. Betting odds right now, guys. The line opened up. The Packers are 7-point favorites as it sits right now. Now, this is according to BetMGM and ESPN, all right? Now, the juice is obviously on the Cowboys there at plus 275. Point spread being a 7-point favorite for the Packers. Over-under is set at 47.5 points there. I could be wrong, and you guys know how I felt about the Browns game. I was very conservative there. Like, hey, man, if this wasn't the Packers game, I'd be taking the Browns plus the points, you know. But just because, not that I thought the Browns were going to win, but I just thought it'd be closer than people, thought. This one, though, I think I don't know, man. It just feels like if the Packers defense shows up like they have up to this point this season, I think what's going to happen is they're going to be able to shut the Cowboys down for a significant amount of time. The Packers could jump out to a pretty early lead. That's just kind of how it feels on the surface, especially with CeeDee Lamb being out now, right? Because obviously they may try to lean on a running game, but I don't know, man. You can never rule Dak out, though. I'm a rare Packers fan that thinks Dak is a great quarterback. I know most Packer fans think he's hot garbage. I think Dak's a great quarterback, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see there. What do y'all think about that point spread, though, right off the jump here?
I don't know about you, Emilio. That kind of surprises me a little bit. I mean, I think that I'm kind of brainwashed from the 90s of thinking that anytime we play Dallas, that they've got a great team. Maybe that's not the case anymore. I don't know. Like Drew D says, if that defense is really worth, whatever. I would just be more cautiously optimistic, I guess. But this last game kind of scarred me, man. I think Clayton was right. As we were going pregame, I think I said my prediction was like 27-10 or 31-10 or something like that. I mean, boy, if this what I wanted to see was us come out on a road game and actually come with the piss hot, and it didn't feel like that we did that. It really took a long time for us to get stuff together, but I want to see us establish that run game. We just haven't done it, it feels like, for any of these games to really be dominant. But what do you think, Emilio?
Yeah, I was just going to say CJ and hit it here. Not sure if you mentioned this, but heard Kenny won't be playing either, and I'm pretty sure they also lost a secondary too. They were talking, you lost Kenny and you lost, I think it was a DB, and they just don't have a pass rush. That's really what they're worried about, is they cannot rush the passer. They're trying to do stunts, but they're not even really bringing, pressures. They're sort of like sitting in a zone and not getting to the quarterback. You're leaving them with too much time, right? And so I think that we have a shot. I would probably stay away from the spread and work the over-under. I think that they're going to be more than 47 scored. I think that they might hit one or two on our defense, but I think Jordan's probably going to throw for 3 touchdowns this game. I think that they're going to start to spin it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here. So it looks like CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, and Kenny Clark all left Sunday's loss in Chicago with
Trayvon, that's who it was. Yeah.
That's tough, man.
And he was just
Kenny, was it the ankle again?
I don't know. It didn't
color back, I'm assuming, with Kenny.
Didn't specify here. I'm just kind of combing through Twitter. We should get the first injury report tomorrow, so we should have a little bit better idea. There's a video of him walking to the locker room. Let's see here. Kenny Clark, who left the game questionable with an ankle. Yep, Tim, you're right. And then Trayvon Diggs left with a shoulder.
Yep.
To go along, obviously, with the ankle injury there with CeeDee Lamb. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's what I'm seeing.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, like I said, they got a couple of spots, man. They're looking a little light. So I think that we have a shot. You know, we can definitely take advantage of that, but we just can't get too greedy. Take what's there, and you know, things will open up throughout the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys did you see by chance Fishy Things is asking, has anyone else heard the rumors that Dak did not like Parsons personally? I've seen those rumors. I just haven't known if how do you even.
Right. Yeah. The only thing I heard was a couple of different things. One thing being there were rumors that there were certain players in the locker room that didn't like Micah Parsons having his podcast, and then there were also people pointing out that when Micah was having his problems with Jerry Jones, none of his teammates stuck up for him and said, "Hey, no, I'll go to bat for Micah." But you got to understand that Jerry, whether you like Jerry Jones or not, 99% of the players that play for him absolutely love that dude. Like he is very much so a player's owner in that regard. It's just him and Micah, they had a falling out, and obviously when you piss Jerry Jones off, and same thing with Micah. Micah was content with, hey, look, I'm not budging on my stance either. So, I would say no personally, Fishy. I don't have anything that says, hey, this player attached their name to this quote and they said this about them, but it doesn't mean it isn't true either, right? So.
Sure, we make things interesting on Sunday night for Micah to line up right across from Dak. If
extra motivation, right?
Yeah, if it was true, that'd be fun.
See, Jim thought the same thing you did there, Tim. She said, Micah might be pissed at Dak, man.
There you go.
Hey, there we go.
A little extra. All right, key storylines. We just talked about it, right? Star edge rusher Micah Parsons will make his return to Dallas for the first time since being traded to the Packers for defensive tackle Kenny Clark, 2 first-round picks. Parsons and the Cowboys failed to agree on a long-term contract, blah, 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 leading to the blockbuster deal. Packers fans expect him to be highly motivated against his former team, which will face his ex-teammate in a prime-time setting. I think that's kind of twofold. I think those other players will be fired up to kind of go against him as well. And one thing's for sure, as we talked about the point spread and anybody else you're listening to, they're going into that game as underdogs. That's dangerous, boys. That's really, really dangerous, right? I mean, there's nobody that's expecting the Cowboys to win that game. And if you want to get revenge on Micah, if there are players in that locker room that truly didn't like him, this may end up being their Super Bowl this year, right? So Cowboys injury woes, we already kind of talked about that. It says so Cooper Beebe was also placed on injury reserve, it looks like right here. They're starting center at some point. So that's interesting. Was he a rookie this year too, or was that last year? I think it was last year.
Last year.
Yeah, I think they had him at guard last year. Then they moved him over to center once Smith left. So they were trying to keep a little bit of continuity there. But yeah, they're having some O-line issues, kind of like we are, but just younger, I would think.
Yep.
Yeah. And then this is kind of what you were talking about, Tim. The Packers hold a remarkable track record at AT&T Stadium. They have won all 5 of their games there, including the playoffs, with their most recent victory being a 48-32 belt-to-ass wild card playoff win in 2023. The Packers' 5-game road winning streak against the Cowboys is the longest in team history. Stats like that, I usually just kind of throw them out because every year it's a different team, But it does show you that the Packers, for whatever reason, are pretty comfortable playing down there. And Tim, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but every time they play there, it seems like you hear a lot of "Go Pack, Go" chants there now. So.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a new thing, though. I mean, I remember the '90s, like Jacob said. I mean, we could not win in Texas Stadium to save our lives, and so this is kind of a new look for the Packers down in Jerry World. So I think they feel good about their chances in that building. I mean, AR-12 hoisted a Lombardi there. We opened that stadium just right with a Packers Super Bowl. I believe that was the year that stadium opened. So we feel good, but like you said, Clayton, a lot of times you got to take information like this and kind of in one ear out the other, right? It's any given Sunday. These are, 2 teams that have a lot to prove right now to their fan bases and I think to the league. So I'd almost feel better about this matchup, if Dallas found a way to beat the Bears. Unfortunately, they didn't. So they're coming off a loss. We're coming off a loss. It's going to be a, really good primetime matchup, I think. As we break things down further, we'll get into the weeds a little bit more on specifics, but bottom line, you can't take any of these matchups for granted. You want to be confident, but you don't want to be arrogant. I think being overly confident coming into Jerry World could get you punched in the mouth, and you might make a fool out of yourself again. And I'd hate to see that happen.
Yeah, definitely. All right, matchup preview with Parsons anchoring their defense. The Packers have been stout, just allowing 14.7 points per game through 3 weeks. In contrast, the Cowboys have struggled mightily on defense without him, surrendering 30.7 points per game. The Cowboys' injury-plagued offense will need to perform well against a formidable Packers defensive line to avoid falling to 1-3. Emilio, they're a wounded dog right now, man. What's SA saying about it, bro? Have you talked to him yet?
No, not yet. I think he's going to be a little worried though. I'll probably give him a call tomorrow and see what's up. And I'll get you an update. But yeah, it's it's tough. He's like, it's even tough watching the Packers. He really did root for us all the time. He said it's just tough seeing Micah out there and wearing that one in the green and gold and seeing him back in the home stadium. I remember when they traded him and I was listening to their call-in shows and stuff, and they were freaking out. Good, I'm glad he's gone. He was all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then if he comes down there and punches them in the mouth, they're going to realize what they're missing, because if they get behind, they really don't have a pass rush. I mean, they're not generating anything with blitzes. They're not scheming up enough of them. They're talking about now, hey, should we fire a defensive coordinator? They're already talking about that, and I mean, it's week 3, so
maybe they can hire Joe Barry.
Hey,
hire Joe Barry. There we go.
Get over here. Belt to ass. BTA. Know what I'm saying?
Jacob's got it trending.
So I'll tell you this, man. When you look at this, it kind of feels like the Cowboys' offensive line being banged up with Booker out now. Obviously, you're missing BB as well. If they do fall behind early and they have to get pass happy, boy, oh boy, does this not seem like it could be another Tennessee Titans game from last year where you just pin your ears and go, And again, you never know what could happen. You could go out there, botch a snap, turn the ball over on a short field, then go up 7-0. It's as Bill Belichick said in that Super Bowl when they went way down before they came back on the Seahawks, said it's trouble now. That's all he said in the mic. They literally said in the headset as they went down to that huge lead or whatever it was right off the bat. Actually, it was the Atlanta Super Bowl.
Yep.
They said all that Bill Belichick said on the mic was trouble now. So anything can happen, but it does kind of feel like if they go down early, and they being the Cowboys and they have to pass, man, that's going to be hard to protect for Dak, as you're trying to throw yourself out of an early deficit. So hopefully we can jump up to an early lead for sure. Let's see here. Jay Cole says Matt Eberflus is the defensive coordinator. So obviously that was the Bears' former head coach, if I remember correctly, right?
Correct. Do you think that gives them an advantage or us an advantage?
Listen, I don't think Eberflus is a bad coach. I think it's hard to turn a defense around in 1 year. The fact that if I remember correctly, this is his first year in Dallas. Yeah. So unless he's changed his scheme dramatically, he's a zone heavy defense. He likes to play a lot of cover 3. That's what he
doesn't bring the blitz a lot.
Right. It's cover 3, rush 4 type thing. Now keep in mind, they're not too far removed from Dan Quinn, who went to Washington a couple years ago, and they were very, very, very man coverage heavy, right? So you got to flip that roster and try to keep the guys that you think are good. And I can't imagine that Jerry Jones sat down with Matt Eberflus and said, which one of these defenders you like? We'll make sure we keep them. Jerry just said, here's what the hell I'm doing. We're going to sign him. We're going to sign him. We're going to sign him. And it sounds like they paid significant money for cornerbacks, which now it's looking like maybe that Micah Parsons effect made them look a little better than they actually were. So the byproduct is you end up overpaying on those extensions. But it's still early in the season too. You never know. J. Cole asked an important question here, Tim. He says, who are the refs? What kind of dirt bags we got on tap this week? Goddamn, man, who are the dirt bags we're dealing with?
Low lifes.
We got Ronnie. We got Ronnie Torbert. That's right. That's right.
Come on, Ron.
I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
Unbelievable. I will always think he looks like that cop on Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Looks just like him. Just like him. So, Tim, we'll have to run down the numbers on this dirt bag before the end of the week, see what we're dealing with here, right?
Oh, we know. I mean, of all the refs that love them some screen time, we know Ronnie loves his screen time. Sunday night football, prime time, the flags will be flying. So Packers better clean it up, man. We had a horrible game on Sunday when it came to penalties.
Isn't it 14?
Yeah,
Don't even get me started.
You know, we got Ronnie Boy as our ref, so yeah, just be careful. Be careful out there, guys. Don't breathe wrong on that line of scrimmage. The flag will come out.
You keep that thing in your pocket.
Hey, don't tell me that.
You never know when Ron Tolbert going to say,
I put the team on my back, dude.
I mean, it could happen any moment. All right, so last thing here with the mini preview, and guys, we're going to dive into this much deeper on into the week. Probably tomorrow, as early as tomorrow, we'll dive back in and get you guys more information on this, the PFF preview, all that. But predictions and outlook: despite suffering a loss to the Cleveland Browns in Week 3, the Packers enter this game as a favorite. Several sports betting sites predict a Green Bay victory, with one outlet forecasting a final score of 28-17. So obviously an 11-point victory there, covering the spread. The addition of Micah Parsons to a strong Green Bay defense and the Cowboys' significant injury concerns point toward a favorable outcome for the Packers. The game's primetime atmosphere and Parsons' emotional return to his former home add an extra layer of intrigue to an already compelling rivalry. So obviously this one dating back to the Ice Bowl days. Going to be a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Anything else you guys want to add to that? Jacob, you got anything in the comments we can hear? We got about 4 minutes before we wrap this thing up here.
Yeah, I'd like what Jen said earlier when you were talking about belt to BTA. I'll keep it clean for the kids at home. Stay in school, kids.
Belt to ass.
Never mind. I guess not.
BTA. Know what I'm saying?
There you go. Talking about how Matt LaFleur better have the belt out at practice. Just basically saying, when you watch Matt LaFleur's press conference after the game, he highlighted 14 penalties. Hard to win an NFL game when you commit that many penalties. Somebody asked him specifically, what type of penalties and how do you limit those? And Matt LaFleur's response was, well, it depends. If you're talking about pre-snap penalties, that's just mental concentration. If you're talking about post-snap penalties, that's more technique and execution. And he then went on to say, I got to be more of a stickler in practice because that's where it all starts. And we have to get on these guys in practice and absolutely, basically call them out kind of thing. And I just think that that's a great point. We need more two-pack LaFleur there. And,
two packs of lung darts,
some lung darts. I want do-rags. I want him. Yeah. I want the whole 9 yards there. I want him to mark the paint there. But,
it's the pre-snaps that just send me over the edge. I'm telling you, those are the ones that just absolutely grind my gears. It's because all it does is bring me back to junior, whatever year you pick in high school, and you're lining up on sprints, and it's on 2, and you always have the one dude that jumps on 1, and you're like, dude, hold it for 2 more seconds, and then just run, and we don't have to do this whole thing over. Yeah,
I'll tell you, the thing that bothers me worse than that, Emilio, is hearing fans just completely pile on the coach. It's like, it's on the coaches. Yeah. Boys, I'm sorry. There's not a person on the face of the freaking planet that's going to convince me it's the coach's fault that you don't break the huddle saying on 2 and that guy just loses focus. Like there's a great clip of Jerry Kramer talking about Vince Lombardi jumping down his rear end about that, where he was talking about the attention span of a first grader is this and this and this, and you ain't even got that. Like you literally don't have a 3-second attention span.
Exactly.
So I'm sorry, I just can't blame the coaches on that. Just can't do it, man.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on the pre-snaps for sure.
Especially with the linemen too. We saw Jordan Morgan getting caught up several times, and a lot of it was
Walker too, right?
And even Rasheed Walker. And I mean, I don't know how you guys felt, but when I looked at some of those, false starts or we had neutral zone infraction or whatever it was, offsides. You're not lining up correctly in the sense of balancing your body weight. And like you saw Jordan Morgan start to kind of get that weight moving in one direction, and you're either going to false start or you're going to fall down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So a lot of it is, break the huddle on time and get your feet underneath you and have some balance up there before you get set. It's basic stuff, man. And I don't know how much coaching at the NFL level is going to change that, right? You should know how to line up when you get to this level, I think.
Yeah.
Grim
great point.
No, it ain't a great point.
Well, Ronnie Torbert leads the league with 69 flags, 54 accepted. Did he get hold of the right stuff or the wrong stuff? 54 accepted through 3 games. And again, that whole field.
That's my job.
I don't know. I'm not excited about it, but we just can't give them an opportunity to throw them. It just we got to be better, more disciplined.
Damn, 69 flags, bro. That's crazy. That's insane.
That's a lot.
Like I said, guys, is it in the name of getting it right on the field, or is it in the name of I want to get some TV time? Just let him play ball, man. Hopefully it's not
23.
Hopefully we get one of those outlier games from Ronnie Boy. Maybe
If
he'll
we can
forget.
keep him under 20, Tim, I'd be happy. He's averaging 23.
And look at this. This doesn't bode well for us. Eldegrim goes on to say that those 54 accepted penalties are 34 against the home team, 20 against away teams. Clayton, I don't know why you decided to at you, but at you.
There you
That's
go.
crazy. So we got to beat the Cowboys and the officials.
And the refs.
Yes.
Yeah. Unbelievable, man.
You know what does that, Tim? The scoreboard. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's
right.
There you go.
That's deep, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. As Brett Favre once said on a